It started with something as ordinary as a wrench, but in the vacuum of space, even the smallest mistake can spiral into a global emergency. This is the shocking story of how one lost tool triggered a chain reaction that stunned the entire world. A team of astronauts was conducting a standard maintenance mission on a U.S. communications satellite orbiting 500 kilometers above Earth. The task seemed simple: tighten a few bolts, replace an antenna component, and return home. The International Space Station, their home away from home, drifted silently nearby, a testament to humanity's ambition. On this particular spacewalk, everything was proceeding by the book. The checklist was being followed with military precision, and communication with mission control was calm and routine. Each turn of the wrench, each click of a latch was a familiar dance performed hundreds of times before. But in microgravity, a single slip means there's no second chance. In that unforgiving environment, where up and down are meaningless, the laws of physics are absolute and unforgiving. As the astronaut finished tightening the final bolt, a momentary lapse in concentration was all it took. The wrench, no longer secured, slipped from their gloved hand. For a split second it hung there, almost tauntingly, before beginning its slow, silent journey away. The astronaut desperately reached for the floating tool, their heart pounding against their ribs. They fired their small thrusters trying to close the gap, but the wrench just kept spinning, slowly but surely, out of reach. Tools in orbit, once they drift away from controlled hands, can travel at speeds exceeding 28,000 kilometers per hour. That's nearly 10 times faster than a rifle bullet. Back on Earth, the voices in mission control grew tense. They could see it on the helmet cam. "We have visual on the tool. It's drifting. Too fast. Stand down." The order was a gut punch to the astronaut. The wrench was gone. Within seconds, it transformed from a simple tool into a piece of high-velocity space debris. For the next 3 hours, a tense quiet fell over mission control. The wrench was now an untracked, unguided projectile. Its orbital path was calculated, but its exact trajectory was a terrifying unknown. Then the first alert blared. The wrench had crossed paths with a commercial weather satellite. The impact wasn't a massive, Hollywood-style explosion. It was more like a fender bender at hypersonic speeds. But it was enough. The collision was just powerful enough to knock the satellite off its stable orientation, sending it into a wild, uncontrolled spin. As it tumbled, one of its large solar panels buckled under the strain and snapped off, shattering into dozens of smaller pieces. The loss of control sent this new cloud of debris scattering into nearby orbital paths, creating the first link in a catastrophic chain reaction that scientists had feared for decades. The stray pieces from the first collision didn't just drift harmlessly, they became a swarm of miniature wrecking balls. One fragment slammed into a telecommunications satellite, silencing it instantly. Another piece, no bigger than a marble, punched through a GPS satellite, sending it offline. Each collision multiplied the debris cloud exponentially. This terrifying phenomenon is known as the Kessler syndrome, a runaway chain reaction where space junk creates even more space junk until low Earth orbit becomes an impassable minefield. Within hours, radar stations around the globe detected over 100 new fragments. Some were on a collision course with critical infrastructure, including other manned missions and, most frighteningly, the International Space Station itself. A global crisis was unfolding in real time, 400 kilometers above our heads. The U.S. government and NASA immediately declared an orbital emergency. Alarms blared in mission control rooms from Houston to Moscow. Military strategists were scrambled for emergency briefings. The world's space agencies worked frantically, sharing tracking data to predict the path of the largest fragments. One piece in particular caused a wave of panic. A large section of the now-defunct weather satellite. Projections showed it was on a decaying orbit, set to re-enter the atmosphere directly over the eastern United States. Its uncontrolled descent could threaten New York City, with a potential impact zone that included the Statue of Liberty and the densely populated surrounding areas. With limited time and options running out, the military authorized an unprecedented and highly controversial decision. They would attempt to shoot down the satellite before it could reach the ground. A silence fell over the command center as the launch sequence began. A precision anti-satellite missile, a weapon that had never been used in a real-world scenario like this, blasted off from a naval cruiser in the Atlantic. Its mission: to intercept a tumbling piece of metal the size of a small car, traveling at thousands of kilometers per hour. The world held its breath. The strike was successful. A flash of light in the pre-dawn sky confirmed the hit. The satellite was vaporized in low Earth orbit. But this desperate act wasn't the end of the crisis. The explosion, while preventing a disaster on the ground, scattered hundreds of new, smaller fragments across even more orbital lanes. And one of those fragments contained a shocking, almost unbelievable surprise. As tracking stations worked overtime to catalog the new debris cloud, they identified a single, familiar object. There, among the shrapnel and shattered electronics, was the original wrench. It was still intact, its metallic surface glinting in the sunlight as it tumbled through the void. It had survived the initial impact and the subsequent missile strike, and was now on a new, completely unpredictable trajectory, a silent ghost in the machine it had helped create. One wrench, one mistake, a global emergency that pushed our technology and our nerve to the absolute limit. It serves as a chilling reminder that in the final frontier, nothing is ever truly small. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wonders and dangers of our universe. We'll see you in the next one.